Hello, I'm back again, this time looking at Gore bags, using everybody's favourite Yoo-Hoo glue technique. I'd like to thank Rob at Cattle Rabbit Scale Model Studio for the idea for this. We've been bouncing ideas around for the last few weeks now. The original plan was to have a go at some blood bags, which Rob will have dropped a video literally just now, and I'll post a link in the first comment to take you straight to it. Go give it a watch. It's really worth it if you want something that little bit more extra special to go on the board. Now, we were both planning on doing the same as last time, doing our own takes on the blood bags, but unfortunately for myself, I couldn't get the method I was trying to work, so thanks to Rob's suggestion, I've adapted and I'm doing Gore instead. So without further ado, let's get to it. So really simply, all you'll need for this is an 8cm by 8cm piece of clear plastic. I use mine from a sandwich bag, some clear Yoo-Hoo adhesive, some pink plasticine, blood for the blood god, and a little bit of red food dye. So first things first is just to roll out what you want to put in the bag. So for this example, I'm going with intestines. Just get the pink plasticine and roll it nice and thin, nice and long. You could use bits of kits, heads, skulls, arms. You could sculpt lungs or something like that out of the same plasticine. But for this, you just want to get it nice and thin and roughly even, although you won't see much of it. So when you've done that, just pop it to one side, and now comes the messy part. So you'll want something to mix your Gore mixture on. I just use the bit of plastic I've been using already. It's the other side of the polythene bag that I'm using to make the wrapping. So what you want is just a nice healthy dollop of blood for the blood god, a little bit of food dye, and just a really generous squeeze of Yoo-Hoo glue. So the food dye, I think, just adds a bit of colour variation, just makes it a bit darker, and it thins it down more. So when you're making the bag, it's more likely to spread up the sides, like it's more liquidy than just sort of sitting in a ball. Although the caveat is that it does make the mixture take a lot longer to dry. I started doing this a week ago or so, and some of the first ones I've done are still a little bit wet now, but it will dry out eventually. And then just grab a mixing stick and start mixing, and give it a vigorous mix together. And then I started sort of dragging it out into lines, because not only can you use this to dip the plasticine in and add it to the inside of the bag, but you can make little sort of hangy bits of Gore out of it that you can peel off and pose later on. So if you do the line shape, it just makes it easier to peel off, and you'll get a better result. When you're happy with that, just grab whatever you've made to go in your bag, whether it be the intestines in this case, or the skulls, or the arms, or whatever, and just give them a good old roll around inside the mixture. Now, you don't have to put these in the bag, as I said before, but this step is always the same. If you want to make something that sort of sits in the crate like I've done, and you'll see that a little bit later on, it just gives it a nice, good, gory look. The last step is just to make the bag itself. So get the piece of clear plastic, just put it to one side, and try and clear out a little bit of space so you don't get all the Gore everywhere. Grab what you're going to put in it and put it in the dead center, and add a little bit more of the mixture just to go inside. And then to make the shape of the bag, just grab the opposite corners, pull them together in the middle, and then grab one of the other corners, again fold that to the center, and finally the last corner, fold that to the middle. You just sort of form a bag shape with your fingers. So to keep it in place, you'll just need to tie the bag itself. I just got a little bit of wire I had to hand, and when I thought that metallic pink wasn't very good, so I got a little bit of the 5mm masking tape that I used in the previous video about body bags and just wrapped that around just to make it look a bit more suitable. And then when you've done that, the top just needs a quick trim just to make it look a bit more in scale. And there you go, one finished Gore bag where you can see the contents, and you can see the intestines just sort of curling through the bottom there, which is a perfect look. But like I say, you can put anything in it, arms, legs, heads, whatever, and it'll just give it that very macabre feel. So I mentioned earlier about doing the stringy bits and the hanging bits of gore, so you can see there that now we left it to set a little bit. It's giving that lovely stringy feel to it. So I grabbed the table that's part of my scatter terrain piece, which I'll get to in a second, and I just started putting little bits on. So when you're doing this and sort of having bits hanging over the side, I'd recommend sort of trying to work with gravity. So if you've got something hanging, and try and get it to go sort of straight down unless there's something pulling it in another direction, just to give it that sense of like realism. With all that lovely stringy gore in place, we are done. Just needs to leave to cure. Now it's worth mentioning as well, all the gore on the table that you can see there is very bright coloured. Give it an hour or so, it'll have darkened to a nice crimson. It makes the whole thing look a lot more realistic. Now I've mentioned a couple of times in this video a piece of scatter terrain, which I'm going to reveal in a minute. The idea behind this was myself and Rob, as we've been working together and really bouncing good ideas off each other, we'd challenge ourselves and do something relating to this video. So I'm going to show you mine, and we haven't seen each other's yet. So when I watch his vid when that goes up, it'll be the first time that I've seen it. I'm really looking forward to it because the guy's an absolute genius when it comes to bits of scatter terrain like that. So I urge you, if you want to go have a look, go check out Rob's video in the link in the first comments. So, drumroll please. No? What do you mean we haven't got the budget? So welcome to the Bits Box, your one-stop shop for new body parts beyond the highs if you can't afford the cosmetics. The idea behind it is just a little shanty stall, obviously black market, way out of the sight of the enforcers and not very legal. Don't ask and they won't tell you, basically. So this is probably the third version I've come up with after a few setbacks with the other two. As you can see, the Gore looks great. I'm really pleased with how this come out, and I would love to do another one of these for like another little piece somewhere. Well, that's it for me for today. I hope you found the video useful and it's got those creative juices flowing. As always, feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and also go check out Rob, the Cat or Rabbit Scale Mold Studio. Go watch his video and go give him a subscribe too. And I'll see you next time.